She was one of the longest running ruling monarchs in the history of of monarchs. She ruled over an incredibly complex and difficult country. She was obviously a completely remarkable, extraordinary woman. So, it's like, where do you start? And also at a time, the 18th century in Europe in general was an extraordinary era. I find the 18th century very beautiful. I love the clothes of the 18th century. I love the architecture of the 18th century. And although it's not that far away in time, it's very, very alien to how we are now. So there were many reasons to do it.
You owe all of your money, all of your palaces, and all of your military power to me. I own you.
And Jason, you played Catherine the Great's love interest at this period of her life, which is towards the end of her reign, the latter part of her reign. And it's quite interesting because your character, Grigory Potemkin, is a powerful, successful army man. And this series really messes with gender stereotypes in terms of Catherine the Great is in charge. You are very much love-struck and on the back foot here.
Well, I mean, she's the centre of the universe, and she's incredibly attractive, not just as a female, but because of who she is and because of what she represents, and that everything revolves in and out of her. And of course, his personal ambition is that. I mean, he only becomes what he is through her. She quite rightly reminds him of it.
Regularly.
She had quite the formidable reputation, Catherine the Great, not just as a ruler, but her private life as well. And she was, in essence, slut-shamed.
By Frederick the Great. And Frederick was her arch enemy. He was a misogynist. He couldn't stand the fact that there was a woman ruling incredibly successfully. Yes, she was sexual. She was a serial monogamist. I think she enjoyed sex. But yes, this attack on her, it's why Elizabeth I understood this and said, I am the Virgin Queen, so that, she couldn't be attacked on that level.
Do you think history in that respect will be kinder to women figures in current history? Just this past week, we're talking about the likes of Gina Miller, Baroness Hale, Greta Thunberg and what she's doing. Do you think the history books will write those characters more reflective of what they're doing?
Yes. Particularly when you start getting female history writers too.
Well, exactly.
A lot of the books are still written by men.
It depends. It depends what happens in the next 100 years. Because, Catherine did what she did, and then she was wiped out of history. Not wiped out, but
so was
she was... And so was Potemkin, yes. It depends what happens after. And things change, and we should be very wary, because as much as we think things go like this, they don't. They often go like that. And what's happening in certain parts of America, for example, against women now is terrifying. It's really, really terrifying. So we shouldn't be too comfortable and think, oh, it's all going to just get better and better. It doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
So we should be aware.
Do you know what I hold in my hand? Absolute power.
Those in power must learn to be criminal.
Not only good looking, but clever too.
Another theme in the series is absolute power. There is, again, another wonderful line where Catherine the Great says, do you see what's in my hand? Absolute power. And that's very topical at the moment with what's going on in the UK and the responsibility that comes with great power. How does Catherine the Great deal with that? And what has it taught you about having absolute power?
I can't imagine what it's like. I mean, none of us really can imagine what that kind of...
That level of responsibility.
An autocrat, a total autocrat.
And there's a tyrannical element to it.
It's undeniable. You cannot get away from it.
You can't get away from it.
Once you've gone on that boat, you're on that boat.
Yes, that's right, exactly. And it's the only way to survive, and if you feel that you need to survive because that's the best thing for your country, but at the same time you have to take on this tyrannical aspect of it. Our political situation now is so different. People can be elected out of Parliament, thank God.
But people also need to take their own responsibility for their vote. You know, in terms of
Yes.
education, in terms
Yes.
of, like, you know.
I think democracy is under attack now, though. There's just a feeling I get that
I think it's taking
democracy
change. It needs to change as well.
wobbling. It probably does need to change, but you know, I think it's a dangerous moment for
Yes, it is.
democracy right
Yep.
now.